Hey, welcome to the tour. I thought today I'd give you a tour around my radio slash computer slash music slash den slash man cave. Alright, we'll start out over at the desk. Let's start with the computer. The computer is a Dell T3500. It's a 6-core Xeon with 24 gigabyte of memory. Now, for my computer, I hate losing information and losing pictures and music. So what I did with my computer was I built an exact duplicate. That computer has everything the same inside of it as this one. So if I ever have an issue, I can be back up and running in just a couple of minutes. What I do is every other month I will image the hard drive on this one and copy it over to that one. So if I were to hook that one up right now, nothing would change. Everything on my screens would be exactly the same. Now we'll talk about the screens. The screens are 20-inch Dell 4.3 widescreens. They're the narrowest widescreen you can get. I like these monitors because I really like the resolution that they support. They support a 1600 by 1200, and it's just really comfortable for my eyes. Like I said, both of those monitors are connected to one computer. I always have a ton of applications open, so I need a dual monitor setup. And these monitors, I actually got really lucky, and I won an auction on a government website that came with 6 of these monitors. So up there I have a few backups. Alright, let's talk about music now. I have the computer tied into that car radio. And that car radio actually has, where did I put it? Let's see if we can scan around and find it. There it is. It has a little remote for it. And the car radio is connected to a pair of Infinity speakers up here on the shelf. And it's also connected to a couple of Bose speakers down on the floor. So that gives me all my sound up in front of me. Now, if we follow that wire that's above my little bag of candy there, goes under the windowsill. Oh, there it is again, behind the calendar. Oh, there it is again. And it comes over here. And it's connected to this, which is a Pioneer VSX 305. That's a 80 watt per channel receiver. And that I have connected to a pair of Sharp speakers that are a pretty unique design. I actually picked these up cheap too. I got these from Goodwill for, I think it was $7 for the pair. These have, I do have the grills for them too. These have a subwoofer in the bottom of them and a woofer, mid-range, and tweeter. Now the subwoofer, if you see over to the left there, there's 2 wires that go into this. The subwoofer requires a connection of its own. So even though there's only 2 speakers attached to the receiver, I'm using 4 outputs on the receiver. Really good bass. Surprisingly, for small speakers, these produce incredible bass. So these 2 behind me, with these 4 up in front of me, when I'm in my chair, I am completely surrounded by sound, and it just, I really like music, so when I'm sitting in that chair, it's just fantastic. It was a little tricky, the initial setup, getting all those speakers set so that the sound was just right, but I managed it. Alright, let's move on to the CBs. Now anybody that's watched my skip videos, you already know, you're already familiar with this radio. This is my all-time favorite. It's a Uniden Washington, and it's had a couple of things done to it. The clarifier is opened up, and it has the frequency counter that's hardwired to the radio, so I can drift it all up and down on frequency and match somebody that's off. And oh, look at that, there's some skip coming in right now. But I can have some fun with that radio, and I have it connected to an external speaker, and it's connected to a little bit of a helper box right there. That just gets my signal out just a little bit stronger. Alright, and that radio is connected to my homemade ground plane antenna that's outside. Over to the right, I have a Cobra 148, and that one I pretty much use just for monitoring. It's always either on 36 lower sideband like it is right now, or channel 28 AM. And if I hear Skip coming in on those channels, then I'll just switch to Washington over to him and talk with the Washington. Oh, and I forgot to mention the microphone. The Washington I have connected to a Galaxy desk mic that has echo and Roger beep. It also has the built-in VU meter and a transmit indicator. Really good reports on that microphone. I like the way it sounds. Up on the shelf, I have a Cobra desk mic right there. And over here I have a Realistic desk mic. And those are both wired to work with either one of these radios. And behind them I have a handheld Cobra power mic on the right, a D104 Minuteman 2, and a Realistic power mic. And over here I have the original Uniden mic that came with my Washington, a Cobra handheld power mic, which that's a really nice mic too, that puts out good sound, and then just a stock mic. The stock mic has good sound too, but that's just in case. I mean, every single one of the power mics all have good batteries in them right now, but you never know. So I like to have backups for everything. Now above the radios, a friend of mine who I call 145, that's his numbers on the radio, he made me that plaque. It's my CB handle and YouTube channel name. And he put a couple of antennas on there. There's a dipole antenna on the left and a beam antenna on the right. Thank you, Gary. Love my plaque. And next to that I have my headphones that I can use. That one is used for if I'm doing like Skype or something like that, because it has the microphone built into it. And the one on the right is really good for music. And I know Christmas is long since past, but my Bah Humbug hat and my I've Been Good hat just stay there up all year long. Alright, down on the shelf a little bit, we have my M&M's cup with my Halloween doll inside of it. And along that shelf there's a 69 Corvette, there's a 73 Maverick, and there's two little 71 Mavericks, and a Dodge Charger, and another M&M cup. So I think that about covers the desk. Well, except for one thing. Above the desk, you notice that wire in the corner of the room? That's a dipole antenna that I use for testing. It has a really good match to it, but it doesn't get out worth a damn. So I don't bother any locals when I'm doing testing. It also won't catch any skip. It's just, it doesn't get out well enough. So, now if we move away from the desk, I did a little bit of trim work around the window because that was all bare sheetrock. That's my attempt at artwork. It's a 3D artwork, if you can see that. I had a bunch of strips of wood around in the garage and a piece of pegboard, and it just popped into my head, so I put it all together, painted it up, and that's what I ended up with. Down below I made a little rack for some of my favorites, my movies. Let's see. The cabinet that the Pioneer is on, I built that myself too. And I got my little buddy down there. That's Peebles. I built that cabinet. I'm not going to show you inside because it's just a mess inside. There's so much stuff inside of that thing. Up above that, behind my wolf blanket, is just, well, I can show you on the edge. It's my eBay inventory. A lot of it's still in here. I've been moving my inventory out to the garage, but some of it's still in here. So until I get that inventory out, those shelves will stay. Once that inventory's gone, those shelves are going to come out of here. Alright, let's move around to that side of the room. The workbench. That is made up out of old pallets. The entire cost for that is under $5. I paid $2 for the rug that's on the top, And there's maybe $3 worth of screws that went into it. And a lot of my time. Oh, I'm sorry, I also paid for the stain and the paint too. Love that bench. That bench is really good for working on computers, which you see I'm working on a laptop right now. I also use it for working on radios and for packing stuff up for shipping for eBay. And above the bench, I wanted some really rugged shelving to be able to hold a lot of weight. So I built this shelf unit, and it's attached to 7 studs in the wall. I've laid down up on the top shelf of that thing, bounced around. It's not going anywhere. So I'm not afraid of putting a few 100 pounds of weight on that thing. Right now it probably has 150 pounds of weight on it. A little bit of my radio collection. Some backups, some spares, some just in case radios. Alright, now if we move around the room a little bit more. When we bought the house, there was no closet door on this closet. And I decided where this is my recreational room, I wanted something unique. So I built this. That's my own design. And I'm really pleased with the way the door came out. Eventually I am going to drill it and put a doorknob on it. It is all set up to be able to do that. But it's just a closet. So for now I just have a barrel bolt on it. Again, the closet's a mess inside of there. I have so much stuff inside of the closet. But that's my homemade closet door. Alright, so that's a tour around my room. I guess the way I just put it, my recreational room. It's recreational and work. Oh, let's actually talk about the chairs too. I found on a government website, a government auction site, they had these chairs, both of these chairs, free. Just come and get them. That one there is made by Lazy Boy. Really, really comfortable chair. So, hey, I was willing to take the drive to go get them for free. Sure. Alright, I guess that concludes my room. Alright, thanks for watching. Moa Junkie out.